Hello students, good morning to all. So in the last video we discussed about the oxo acids of sulfur, where we discussed about the tricks and shortcuts to memorize the structure, oxidation states, basicity and the corresponding anhydride of the oxo acids of sulfur, which is a very important point from the point of view of the exams as well as your competitive exams. Um, In this video, we'll be starting with the preparation, physical properties and chemical properties of different oxo acids of sulfur. So we are starting with the very first acid, that is sulfurous acid. The formula is H2SO3. As I have already told you that in all the oxo acids of sulfur, number of hydrogen is always 2. So the formula is H2SO3. Oxidation state is +4, which we have already discussed how to calculate it. It is a dibasic acid, as all the oxo acids of sulfur are dibasic, so it is also a dibasic acid. It is a fairly strong acid. So coming to the preparation, it is as SO2 is its anhydride, so it is prepared from the reaction of sulfur dioxide. When it is reacted with water, what we get is we get H2SO3. This acid exists in solution form. It cannot be separated in or crystallized into any solid form. It exists in its solution form. Next is the acidic character. This is a chemical property of sulfurous acid, that it is a dibasic acid, and it gives two ionizable protons, and the corresponding salts are called as bisulfides and sulfides respectively. Next is its reducing character. It is a strong reducing agent due to its affinity for oxygen, as sulfur is in its +4 oxidation state. So sulfur always tends to occupy the maximum oxidation state, that is +6. So it has strong affinity for oxygen, that it wants to get oxidized to +6 oxidation state via absorbing oxygen. So it has strong tendency to act as a reducing agent. So H2SO3 has a strong affinity for oxygen and gets converted to H2SO4, where sulfur is in +6 oxidation state. So as it can act as a strong reducing agent, so it can act as all the strong oxidizing agents, such as it can convert halogens to hydroacid. As I have already discussed you that oxidizing action of the following reactions, where I have written the ferric salts to ferrous salt, iodates to iodides, potassium permanganate to manganese sulfate. These reactions, these are the basic reactions for different oxidizing agents. These reactions you should be knowing, as these are being used in all the oxidizing and reducing actions of different P block elements. So this reaction is important from the point of view that this reaction where halogens are getting converted to the corresponding hydroacids, and particularly the case of iodine, this is used for the volumetric estimation of sulfurous acid in laboratory. That this reaction is H2SO3 plus water in the presence of water. When iodine is reacted with sulfurous acid, we get HI. So this reaction is used for the volumetric estimation of sulfurous acid. So next we have it also acts as oxidizing character, as here sulfur is in +4 oxidation state. So there is a scope for sulfur to acquire higher oxidation state and as well as lower oxidation state. So it can act both as oxidizing and reducing agent. So it acts as oxidizing agent and reacts with H2S and convert it to corresponding sulfur. That is, it can oxidize as sulfur from its -2 oxidation state to sulfur in its 0 oxidation state. It can also oxidize PbO2 to lead sulfate, where oxidation state is getting increased. It is also a very good bleaching agent. Again, it is also a temporary bleaching agent, that it possesses a bleaching action due to its reducing properties. But the color is often restored on exposure to air due to aerial oxidation. Next, coming to the structure, it has an interesting structural fact that which came from the following experiment, that its ethyl derivative was found to exist in the two isomeric forms with widely different boiling points. The ethyl derivative of this acid, that is diethyl sulfite and diethyl, two forms, isomeric forms are symmetric diethyl sulfite and other is unsymmetrical diethyl sulfite. So they have boiling points of 161 degrees Celsius and 200 around, which is one is very much less than 200 and other is greater than 200. So this exists. This thing indicates the existence of sulfurous acid itself in two isomeric forms. So the two isomeric forms of sulfurous acid are drawn here. This is while discussing the oxo acids of sulfur, while discussing the tricks and shortcuts to memorize the oxo acids of sulfur, I have told you that there is no direct SH bond in case of oxo acids of sulfur. So this is the only case where one of the isomeric form of sulfurous acid is having direct SH bond in its oxo acids. This is unsymmetrical sulfurous acid and this is symmetrical sulfurous acid, which we have already discussed in case of in the earlier video. So the dibasic character of sulfurous acid is justified only from this structure, but this structure is also suggesting something, that it suggests that it is due to its direct SH bond. It can act as a strong reducing agent due to its reducing properties are very strong. So this structure is also acceptable. So it is believed that both these structures exist in equilibrium with each other. As after the removal of two hydrogens, we are left with SO3 2 negative. So SO3 2 negative is having a tetrahedral geometry. Hybridization and geometry and shape of all the oxo acids, all the oxides are very important from the point of view of your final examination and as well as your competitive examination. Next acid to be discussed is sulfuric acid. Here sulfur is in its +6 oxidation state. Sulfur is in its +6 oxidation state, which is the highest oxidation for sulfur to exist. It is most important chemical. This is also called as king of chemicals. The preparation of sulfuric acid is very important. There are two ways to prepare sulfuric acid. Two processes are there. That is, first one is lead chamber process and the second one is contact process. This is pretty old process. This is an older process in which sulfuric acid is obtained not in very pure form. So this is cheap method, and the contact process is modern method where acid is produced in concentrated and pure form. We'll be discussing both the processes in detail. This is the first step where sulfur or iron pyrite, sulfur or its ore, that is iron pyrite, is roasted in the presence. Roasting is always done in the presence of oxygen. So it is roasted to produce SO2. The first step is similar in both the processes. Coming to the second step, in case of lead chamber process, second step is reaction of sulfur dioxide, or we can say oxidation of sulfur dioxide with the help of NO2 gas. So it is oxidized to sulfur trioxide with the help of NO2 gas. Here this reaction is, here the nitrogen oxide is produced as byproduct, along which further pick up oxygen from air and get again converted to NO2. So this is a cyclic process where NO2 and NO are just acting as carrier for passing oxygen to SO2. So here nitrogen oxides are acting as carrier of oxygens. So this is the second step for lead chamber process, and in the second step of contact process is the reaction oxidation of sulfur dioxide with oxygen itself. This is a catalytic step which is done at 450 to 500 degrees Celsius in the presence of V2O5 as catalyst. Here this is exothermic reaction and also it is reversible. So here SO2 is getting converted to SO3. Here we can, as this is reversible process, we can apply Le-Chatelier's rules, that what happens on increasing the pressure as number of moles are decreasing. So increasing the pressure will further favor the forward reaction and decreasing the temperature, but not below. The optimum temperature is 450 to 500 degrees Celsius, which is optimum temperature for this reaction. So we cannot decrease the temperature below this range, but low temperature will favor this reaction, low temperature of this range. So increasing the pressure will definitely favor the reaction, but it cannot be made too high, as corrosive action of these the gases formed, or SO2 gas, if the pressure is made too high, what happens is corrosion of chamber starts to take place. So optimum pressure of 2 to 3 atmosphere is kept. So now coming to the third step. Third step is where SO3 is further reacted with steam to produce H2SO4 in case of lead chamber process, while in case of contact process in the third step, SO3 is reacted with H2SO4 itself, for which we are doing the synthesis to produce oleum. So sulfuric acid is stored in the form of oleum, and whenever it is required, it is diluted with water to produce H2SO4. So this is an important process. Both the processes are important. Differences we have already discussed, and second step of both the reaction, both the steps are very important. Further are the properties of sulfuric acid. This is a colorless viscous liquid which freezes at 10.37 degrees Celsius and boils at 340 degrees Celsius. It is having a very high boiling point of 340 degrees Celsius. It has strong affinity for water and the reaction is highly exothermic. So whenever we want to dilute sulfuric acid, it is always preferred, or it is mandatory action, that we add acid to water, not water to acid. If we add water to acid while diluting this acid, it will spurt out. The reaction is highly exothermic and it can spurt out on our face. So it can cause an accident. So it should be, one should always be careful while diluting sulfuric acid. It is always suggested while in your lab that you should be very careful while diluting sulfuric acid, while dealing with concentrated sulfuric acid. It forms two hydrates, that is H2SO4.1H2O, H2SO4.2H2O, which are having different melting points. Coming to the chemical properties, it is quite stable but dissociates on strong heating to its anhydride, and its anhydride is SO3, that is sulfur trioxide, which can also be revised. This thing can also be revised from the trick that when we remove H2O, what we get is, we get corresponding anhydride, which is SO3 here. Acidic character of sulfuric acid, it is a dibasic acid, as all the acids of sulfur, all the oxo acids of sulfur are dibasic acids. It forms two important salts, that is bisulfates and sulfates. In case of sulfurous acid, what we get in the form of salts is bisulfites and sulfites. Here, these are bisulfates and sulfates. Next property is the action with metal. When H2SO4 is reacted with metals, liberation of hydrogen gas is there and the corresponding sulfates are formed. With metal oxides also corresponding sulfates are formed. When sulfuric acid is reacted with alkalis, neutralization reaction takes place and we get corresponding salts, that is bisulfates and sulfates. With carbonates and bicarbonates also sulfates are produced. This is an important reaction where H2SO4 is reacted with ammonia. This is also an acid base, or we can say neutralization reaction, where ammonium sulfate is produced, which is having dense white fumes. So this is an important compound which produces dense white fumes. Further is a dehydrating action of H2SO4. This is very important owing to its strong affinity for water. It is treated as powerful dehydrating agent. It has a corrosive action on skin based upon its dehydrating properties, that it at once it can corrode the skin. So based upon the dehydrating action, many gases can be dried by passing H2SO4. The gases such as HCl, Cl2, SO2 can be dried via passing the gases over the solution of H2SO4 as it will absorb water from water present in these gases. Based upon the dehydrating action, the following observations are observed that when H2SO4 is dropped over sugar, charring takes place. It converts sugar to carbon. For formic acid, it reacts with formic acid. It dehydrates the formic acid and produces carbon monoxide. With oxalic acid also, it produces carbon monoxide and along with carbon dioxide. With ethanol, it converts ethanol to ethene, that again there is dehydrating action. Concentrated acid, when reacts with metal, it exhibits oxidizing action and gets reduced to, and itself gets reduced to sulfur dioxide. As H2SO4 is having oxidation state, sulfur in oxidation state of +6, so it will get reduced to SO2 with sulfur having oxidation state of +4. With salts of other acids, when it is reacted with salts of other acids, it replaces other acids and form its own salts like bisulfates and sulfates. Next are the precipitation reactions with barium and lead salts of other acids. H2SO4 gives white precipitates as barium sulfate and lead sulfate are produced, which are white precipitates, which are having white precipitates, or we can say which are white in color, with the compounds like barium sulfate and lead sulfate are white in color. With SO3, it forms oleum, as we have discussed in the last step of the synthesis of H2SO4, that it is stored in the form of oleum by reacting with SO3. So this is an important reaction for the production of oleum. Oleum is an important acid out of the oxo acids of the sulfur, which we'll be discussing just after this. Next is the hot concentrated sulfuric acid is very strong oxidizing agent, that it can oxidize many species, that it can oxidize carbon to carbon dioxide, sulfur to sulfur dioxide, phosphorus to phosphoric acid, sulfide to sulfur, bromine to bromide ion to bromine, and itself get reduced to SO2. It is having wide variety of application. Wide applications are there. That is, it is used in many industries like fertilizer industry, chemical industry, metallurgy, for explosives, for petroleum refining, storage batteries, lead accumulators. It has wide variety of applications. Now coming to the structure, as sulfurous acid exists in two isomeric forms, so it was also tested for sulfuric acid that it exists in two or more isomeric forms or not. Does there any isomeric form for sulfuric acid exist or not? So for that, dibasic acid, as it is a dibasic acid, so uh, one experiment was conducted to check whether it is having any isomeric form or not. For that, sulfuric acid was reacted with PCl5 to produce this molecule, which was further reacted with ethane, and ethyl derivative was produced, where we got only one organic derivative, which confirmed that it is not having any isomeric form. It is having only single structure, which is sp3 hybridization. Again, I would like to mention here that geometries, hybridization, shapes of the molecules, number of bond pairs, number of lone pairs are very important from the point of view of the exams of both oxoacids, oxides, hydrides, all the compounds actually. So details of these things, details of these theories of covalent bonding you have done in your last semester. So you should revise that before attempting for P block. Next property is it is having high boiling point and viscosity. Its high boiling point and viscosity suggests that it exists in associated form. This suggests its high boiling point and high viscosity suggests that there must be some additional bonding which is present in the molecules of sulfuric acid. So it was uh, found that there exists hydrogen bonded, and this is the structure of hydrogen bonded sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid exists in this form. This was suggested based upon its high boiling point and viscosity. Next acid to be discussed is disulfuric acid, or we can say pyrosulfuric acid, or we can say oleum, H2S2O7. So preparation we have already discussed that when H2SO4 is reacted with sulfur trioxide, it gives us oleum. It is a stronger acid and stronger dehydrating agent than H2SO4. So this is a very important acid which is stronger than H2SO4. It is, as it is, its name is pyrosulfuric acid. We have discussed that prefix pyro comes when we double the formula and remove water molecule. Here we have taken two molecules of H2SO4 and we have removed water molecule from here, and we get pyrosulfuric acid, that is H2S2O7. Next is peroxomonosulfuric acid. Nothing about the preparation and properties of peroxo and peroxo disulfuric acid and peroxomonosulfuric acid. You just have to memorize the formula and the common names. So peroxomonosulfuric acid is Carrot's acid, which is H2SO5, which is formed by addition of one oxygen to sulfuric acid. Peroxo disulfuric acid is also called as Marshall's acid. This is an important reaction for the preparation of peroxodisulfuric acid, that when it is reacted with H2O2, this compound is reacted with H2O2, we get Marshall's acid. This is also an important reaction where Marshall's acid, when reacts with water, that it is hydrated with water, we get Carrot's acid, and which is further hydrated with water to give sulfuric acid. This is an important reaction for the interconversion of these acids, that how we can obtain Carrot's from Marshall's acid and then sulfuric acid from Carrot's acid. Next are the oxo acids of other group 16 elements. First is selenium. Selenium is having two important oxo acids, that is selenious acid and selenic acid. It is strong acid like sulfuric acid, selenic acid. Formula is also same. This is H2SeO3, where for sulfur it was H2SO3, and for selenic it is H2SeO4. Selenious acid is prepared from SeO2 plus water by the hydration of SeO2. So this is the anhydride for selenious acid. Further are the oxo acids of tellurium. It is also having two oxo acids, that is tellurous acid and telluric acid. Tellurous acid is same. The only difference is that tellurium dioxide, which can be called as the anhydride based upon the trick, but tellurium dioxide, it is an exception, that is insoluble in water, so it cannot be called as anhydride of tellurous acid. So also tellurous acid cannot be prepared from this, as it is insoluble in water. So it is prepared from tetrahalides of tellurium. The tetrahalides of tellurium are reacted with water to produce tellurous acid. And telluric acid is also having an exception, that it is having different formula, that is it is having octahedral structures. It is very different from other acids like sulfuric acid and selenic acid, corresponding acids of other group 16 elements. It is very different. So it exists as TeOH6, which is having octahedral geometry. It can be prepared from the reaction of tellurium with chloric acid, that is HClO3, and we get H6TeO6, or we can say TeOH whole 6. This is a very strong oxidizing agent, but a weak dibasic acid. It is used as very strong oxidizing agent. Next are the halides of group 16. This we'll be discussing in the next video. So far I have discussed about the oxo acids of sulfur, oxo acids of group 16 elements. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much and all the best to you.